Alrighty, traders. This is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Daily Roundup webinar. We were just talking about in the equity markets how crazy the Nasdaq is. I mean, I just shorted the S&Ps, and I'll go over that here in a second. But man, this is just absolutely bonkers. I mean, we are up from the lows, the overnight lows. We are up how many points? Let's check that now. 516 points, 520 points from the lows thus far. What a heck of a bounce. Let's figure out where the top of that, or where the next resistance level is via fibs. So I mean, we're basically at the 618. So we should stop here, I would think, realistically. What is it's outpacing is the S&P. I expect the S&P to stop around the 50% retracement. Looks like looks like we're going to overshoot. Hell, we might even make it to 3790 if the Nasdaq continues to rally the way it is. But as I had told you guys before, the S&P is knocking its head up against this 200 period moving average, and you'll notice. Do you see the reversal here and reversal here? So we might be above the 200 period moving average for the 4 hour. I'm hoping that we close back below it by the end of the day. That's my hope. And hopefully this buying kind of gets out of it dries up here. I was surprised earlier this morning when we were down. I was like, wow, this is the first time on a Monday that we've seen the equity markets under pressure out the gate, but they obviously have reversed course since then. The euro is approaching some really key support here. I should probably say this, I'm very bullish the dollar right now. The euro is definitely under pressure. I do think it's going to find some support down here. The other currencies, if you take like the Aussie is trading heavy. I mean, think about this. You got risk appetite just ripping. And if you're buying the Aussie dollar, you're not getting paid. You haven't gotten paid all night. S&P's hit highs. You bought it at 76.60. It's hitting highs again. You're out there buying the Aussie here in the 30s or the 20s. If it doesn't start moving higher, the risk is going to be that it starts to drop, and that's what I think is at risk now with the Aussie dollar. Like I said, it hasn't rallied with risk. Yeah, S&Ps are up. 50 points? Is that right? 30, 74. Yeah, about 50 points off the lows. The S&Ps. Aussie barely's moved. Same with the Kiwi. Kiwi's trading pretty heavy, but we're in the middle of this wedge. The Aussie, though, we start dropping below this 76-cent level, and it's going to get kind of bearish. I'm picking up the dollar Mexican peso. I bought it earlier at 29. I sold it at 47. I picked it up again on this drop at 39. So I own a little bit down here. And it's one of those situations, again, if you see risk rallying and you shorted the hell out of the dollar Mexican peso, you're not getting paid for it right now. So if the stock market does, see some sellers at the end of the day, the dollar Mexican peso could very easily be back above 20.50. That's what I'm hoping for. And that's, something I'm thinking about too. I mean, look at the dollar Canadian. Dollar Canadian's near its highs of the session. That usually doesn't happen when we have risk off. So, and you might be trading the dollar Mexican or the dollar Canadian right now, shorting it, thinking, okay, well, stocks keep ripping. I've got to short some dollar Canadian. Everybody's been doing that trade today. So what happens when stocks roll over? Dollar Canadian might actually break highs. I wouldn't want to be short. I just saw a couple of guys in the chat room. I'm not going to point you out. Looking at short dollar Canadian here, I wouldn't want to be short if it gets above 128.60. I think is what I would be looking at there. Dollar yen. It's on fire. I mean, we're at 105. I'm not sure what to do with the dollar yen. I still like Canadian yen short, by the way, because we continue to reject the 82 yen level. right? But yeah, dollar yen, it still looks pretty strong. And we looked at the S&P. Oh, silver. If you're long silver, just be careful. I know so many people had bought silver the last 24 48 hours. Everybody's I'd say 24 48 hours. I'd say over the last couple trade. Guys, can you hear me? Sorry, my internet went down. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. I was sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden everything went down, and which is weird. I have a T1 line, or the equivalent of a direct line, and for it to go down like that, I'm not sure what happened. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. So I don't know if you guys heard what I had to say about silver. I just wanted to reiterate, guys, if you went out and bought silver, I just needed to say this. I need to get it out of the way. If you did buy silver, just know where your risk is. Like for me, and I own physical silver, but you guys know I bought it when I was like 17, and I poorly too. I just don't know. Hold on really quick. I was trying to let the guys know that I was down too. So, but I'm not trading silver. I'm not convinced that I'm convinced that silver is going higher. I'm not convinced that this is the catalyst, as we were talking about today. So I'm not chasing it. But if you are and you're trading silver on the long side, just know where your risk is. And that's all I have to say. Just say, okay, I'm buying it. My stops are going to be below 27.50, or my stops are going to be below $26. Whatever your price is, just, Craig says, because you were talking bad about silver, the banks cut me off. That's possible. Hey, you guys should short silver. It ain't going higher. Hello, Blake? I think that is what happened. Anyway, okay. So anything? I was gonna talk to you guys about like these crosses. Like I'm still very constructive and like look at the Euro Aussie building a nice little. This is a consolidation. You got to really, again, if you're long like me, you got to feel good that we just saw this rip higher in equities, and we're holding up pretty well, right? Here's the Euro New Zealand. I mean, I'm frustrated that we're not back above 170 yet, but it's holding in there. I mean, it's alive, as alive as it could be, I guess. Pound Aussie holding up well, just consolidating gains. Pound New Zealand consolidating gains, and we had that hell of a bounce off that trend line on Friday. But just maintaining gains. We really need to get above 192. Anyway, I got asked about them, like, hey, you still long? And I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm not. After a rip higher in risk, seeing them hold up the way they're holding up, I'm fine with it for now. Other than that, yeah, guys, I'm sorry about the I don't know what happened with my internet. It's so random. It just doesn't happen very often. Actually, in my neighborhood, when internet goes down, I'm usually the one that's still up. Everybody else goes down, like because they have normal internet. I have a direct line. So I don't know what happened. Some hiccup. Anyway, Craig said asked any thoughts on the RBA. I have zero thoughts on the RBA. I'm not really worried about them because my 2 cents is the RBA might, well, they're gonna be on hold, but I don't think they're going to say anything that's going to alter the path. And even if they're dovish, I've read a lot of banknotes that says if there's a dovish RBA, you still have to buy the Aussie on dips. Now, as you know, I'm more bearish to Aussie than that. So but I'm in the camp, and I'll just say this again. The Aussie, yeah, we break below 76 cents and it's going to get ugly. And so you might get some people trying to buy the Aussie down here below 76 cents. I think that's going to be pretty dangerous if that's where we go. So, you know, my thought is they're not going to do anything, but they could be a little bit more dovish. But there should be people buying on dips. I'm not in that camp. Okay. All right, guys. Hey, have a great one. Thanks for your patience. Yeah, if that ever happens again, just realize I'm here. Just my internet cut out for whatever reason. I was actually going to jump on my phone, but all's good. And again, thank you guys for all your support. I'll see you tomorrow morning. And remember, tomorrow morning's tomorrow morning the face webinar changes, so you guys are going to be getting the bias chart, just you and me, and Steve and Stelios will be there too, but just us. All right. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.